So Manyar, when you applied to the job, did you know so Vue.js before you
No,
start
I learned at
or
work.
no? So how you switch from React to Vue.js? The
I just
company
learned
said,
it.
okay,
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a requirement at the company. So they use only Vue.js, and there is not so much difference between Vue.js and React. I think even Vue.js is a little bit maybe easier. For me, it was like, oh, I love Vue.js. Now I I used to think that I like React, but then I tried Vue.js. I was like, wow, it's maybe I don't know, like something about Vue.js that I think is easy to use for me. I don't know.
okay. So yeah, did you learn Vue.js before to get the
No,
job
I learned it at
or
work.
after? Oh, at work. Okay.
Yeah,
So they were fine with that, right?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So my first wo experience was actually as I joined as a software engineer apprentice, and at that work, I had to build a project using C Sharp. Even though I didn't have background in C Sharp, we learned only front end and like JavaScript. But then it was I wouldn't say it was super easy, but it needed to it required some time to learn. But everybody was fine with that I'm learning and at work. And after that, I joined the next company where by mistake, they hired me as a Java developer, even though I was applying for C Sharp developer. So at work, again, I learned Java. So they just gave me more time to learn it. But that's a good thing. Once you know one language, that's like, I think, kind of a superpower for programmers. Once you know one language, it's easy to transition to any language and you can become full stack developer in a matter of time.
Okay.
Okay, and after graduating from this boot camp, once we go to job market, how many years of experience do we put into our resumes?
I didn't put any experience because I applied for the role of apprentice. It was like a apprenticeship program, and they didn't require any experience. So yeah, but usually at our graduates they put 1 year, 2 years, depending on how you complete the projects and depending on how well you were doing during the boot camp.
Okay. And was the apprenticeship program paid?
It was $40 an hour, so around $80,000 a year, I think.
I see.
Yeah. Let's see. While we wait for everybody, let's do some refresher maybe. How many quizzes you've done so far? Have you done any quizzes on your own? Quizzes and this
I did four.
Yes, the basic and the standard.
basic and standard. Have you covered tables already?
I did tables and selectors.
Selectors, okay. You know about selectors, right? So you covered the selectors with CSS.
That it, right? Yeah.
Only
Yes,
Kai
that's it.
knows. The rest of
Let's see how well or how poorly we will do. Probably it's not anything crazy like these questions. They're not anything crazy, but these are also questions that you might be asked during interviews. So it's good to do this refresher. So while we wait for other students for us to join, let's do some questions. And you can shout out your answers or you can put in the chat. I open the chat and so don't be shy. You can do both ways. So the first question says, what's the correct syntax to style multiple unrelated selectors? What's the correct syntax to style multiple unrelated selectors?
Second.
Second one?
Yeah.
P dot nav
No.
First.
First, yeah. First.
with comma, yeah?
Oh, it's comma.
There is a comma between them. There is a dot in here. There is a
Okay.
semicolon in here, and there is a just blank space here.
Give me
They
a
are
sec.
unrelated though.
Oh, it's
And
give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. It says the last one. Last one. Yeah,
Last one.
think so.
let's see.
Who else?
Yeah,
Last,
last.
last one is related, but
Yeah, they are
first one
related,
is
right?
First is a
unrelated.
class, and second is a paragraph. Yeah.
First
Uh-huh.
one.
So here, the why this is not probably is the answer, because here in your question, it says that they should be unrelated. But when you put dot nav menu space paragraph, it means that paragraph is a child of nav menu. So this, it means it shows the hierarchy here, right? Like it says that paragraph is the child of nav menu. So you're actually styling here the paragraph. In the first one, you are styling nav menu, something that has class of nav menu and also paragraph. They are not related, but you're styling them together with a comma separator. So let's try the first one. Using a comma allows you to apply style rule set to multiple selectors. So
Oh, yeah. Okay.
people who said first one, you're right. And I think, Victor, you said first one, yeah? That was your first guess?
I just even didn't answer the question. I just spent my time to translate. So
Okay. How do you insert a comment in a CSS style? First, second, third.
Second and third.
This looks like comment. This looks like comment. I think the two forward slashes here at the end are like extra.
I think the first.
First one.
I'm not sure. Just I guess.
I said first one. Yeah, let's
Look.
go with first one. Nice. Good guess.
I actually just tapped the buttons and that's all.
Who is Stambekov? What's your name?
What?
Stambekov, somebody with the last name Stambekov. What's the name of the student? Stambekov. Okay. If you can unmute yourself and or you can change your to the first name and last name or just first name, that would be easy so that I can call your name. So how do you display hyperlinks without an underline? And
so you will choose full answer or what?
How do you display?
hyperlinks without an underline.
Second one.
Second one, underline none.
Oh, I guess so. I didn't try it. I just know.
I think this one sounds
know,
like
yeah.
logical though.
No,
Yeah,
it's not second.
but there is like a special property that is not underlined. Anybody tried this before?
Let's try.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What do you think, Kai?
It's first, yeah.
First one, okay. Let's see. Text decoration none. Removes the underline of an A tag. Okay, how do you make each word in a text start with a capital letter? Imamudin, are you there? What's your guess?
I think it's third one.
Third one, text style capitalize. Nice. Oksana, what do you think?
I think it's the first one.
Text transform capitalize.
Yes.
See.
It's a third? Oh.
You're right. Text transform capitalize. There's some rules that would need you to know because, yeah, text style capitalize sounds very like, yeah, we're dealing with the style of the text should be capitalized, like it's logical, but in this case, it's like a syntax, right? So you need to know the name of the property, and the name of the property is text transform, and the value is capitalized. Okay, what will be the color of the link after applying the CSS below? So we have a body that has color of green, and then we have main content with a tag, and it has color of blue, and also it has there is a tag color red important.
Last one.
Red.
One, right? So you covered already the CSS hierarchy.
I guess we haven't covered it.
We didn't cover it, but it's last one because it's
It sounds
important.
very important, yeah, because it says important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the last one. I think here,
Uh,
red.
Mahir,
Sorry, it's is that because of that's important, or
Yes.
the code takes the last one maybe?
Specificity. Let's see. There's a specificity rules in CSS, and specificity, it will apply your rules, the CSS rules, in a certain, it will give a certain hierarchy. So you can override some of the rules. For example, if you say, so here's the weight category. So it basically what it means is that some rules will be more important than others. And important, this exclamation mark and important is the one that will override all the rules that you wrote before. So here you're saying that, okay, color is green to all the elements inside the body, but this is very generic. And here you're saying main content A, this is more specific. It has higher specificity than this one over here. So this one will work here. But then here you're saying that, hey, apply color of red, and this is the most important. So this important flag will override everything else that you wrote before and after. So, and there is a interview question actually related to this important. The interviewer might ask you, when do you use important CSS like specificity? And your answer should be, I try to avoid using important. And why do you think this should be your answer? Like, any guesses?
Is it some kind of annotation or no? Like in C# or Java? Yeah, no?
No,
Like
it's just the
override, you know?
yeah. Oh, yeah, kind of override. Yes. You're like overriding some other stuff that you wrote
Yeah.
before. But the reason is here is that important. When you change your mind, for example, when you want to make it not red but green, you would have to come here and change this rule again. And it will, it's a very rigid rule because there is nothing that will override this rule, you know? So you don't want to, basically you are cornering yourself by writing, okay, this is important because this is the highest priority, right? There is nothing else that will override important. So instead of cornering yourself, keep your options open. So apply classes, apply IDs, inline styling, if like that's your, like it has even higher specificity than ID and classes, but try to avoid using important. So your answer should be, I do not use important in my, when I write the code. Okay, good. Even though you didn't know, you
Yeah,
guessed the
excuse me, what is the use cases for this then?
The thing is, even though it's a bad practice, developers do that. So sometimes developers do that because when you're working with third-party library and there is no, you cannot access some elements because it's third-party, right? So they're just there because they might be, some elements might be hidden inside the structure. For example, you might be getting like Let me see. Let me open this. Oh, I don't think I can close this, but let's imagine that there is a library that will get you, for example, like a drop down, yeah? So it will look like this in the beginning. So for example, this will say topics. And when you click this this button, this topics, it will open up and it will render like a list of topics. First one, second one, and so on. Yeah. So this is one component that you might be using from a library, and that library will apply their own styles to this component. And you might not have the access to this element, like this first element, but you want to access it and override some of the styles. In that case, the important might help you. So that's one of the use cases. Or you're trying to ignore some other rules and apply your own rule because you have such requirement from at work. Yeah. In that case, you do apply some developers, they do apply important, but the answer for the interview question should be, I don't apply. I try to avoid applying it. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like super rare cases, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say rare, but when I work with the front end code at work, I see a lot of important in the CSS roles, and I'm like, what can you do? Okay, next question is separating HTML and CSS into their own files helps accomplish which of the following? Better looking CSS styles, more readable code. Separating HTML structure from CSS style makes the code in both languages easier to read and maintain. More specific CSS selectors.
I think
It's the
third
longest one. Yeah.
The longest one, right? Yeah. That's usually the logic, right? The one that sounds more professional.
Right.
Nice. The following code attempts to style a paragraph using the style tag, but fails to do so. Why? So why this didn't work? The color attribute must be changed to color style. The style attribute of the P element can be removed because style tag replaces it. You must use either inline styles or style tag, but not both. The contents of the style tag must be CSS code, not HTML code. The P will not appear at all.
The last
Yes.
one.
Right.
Okay.
Last
And
one.
let me ask Nurbek. Nurbek, what do you think?
When I did the test, it was the last one.
You remember it, right? Nice. Yes, because the content of the style tag must be CSS code, right? This is the how
CSS.
do you call this? When you apply the style this way, how do you call it?
Hard coded. No.
No, it's
Inner.
Inline.
Inline, right?
internal, right? Internal.
Embed.
Yeah, embedded or
Embedded.
internal, exactly. So what are the ways of styling, like connecting style to the HTML?
Using link.
External.
External.
Embedded, this is they're trying to do embedded here. And also, how do you call this one?
Inline.
Inline, exactly.
Mm.
Good. Let's see, what else do we have? What does the style HTML tag allow? Writing one or more CSS rules in CSS style, CSS syntax inside an HTML file. It automatically adds common styles to your web page. It links external CSS styles to the HTML document. It's only way to apply styles inside an HTML file. So we can.
First one.
First one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's not the only way to apply styles inside HTML file, right? Because we know that there is also inline styling. It links external CSS files to the HTML document. It's also not true because we link it with the link tag, right? In the head of the HTML document. So the answer is yes, the first one. Nice. Which of the following best describes the concept of CSS selector specificity? You might not know this one, right? Have you covered specificity before?
What does it mean, specificity? Like the hierarchy?
Yeah, hierarchy, exactly.
Oh. Hmm.
Have you covered it before?
I was absent yesterday.
Not
Manier,
on the
actually, we
class.
barely covered any of these questions.
Okay, yeah. Sounds like we can stop right here because the rest, the previous questions, they are, I think you probably did cover some of them, but this specificity, I will leave it to the other day to cover it. Let's see, when do you have? It should be probably this week you should cover it. Okay. I can tell you like specificity in broad language. It basically gives the hierarchy of rules when you apply them, when you write the CSS rules, you can, some rules have higher priority than others. For example, you just saw important, so that has the highest priority. And I think the rest, we can leave it for, we might go too deep into this, if you keep doing this quiz. Okay, let's see. We have 13 students. Okay, I think we can start with today's project. So today's topic is beyond the basics. So far you learned how to write HTML code, how to style it using CSS. And today we'll dive a little bit deeper. Let me bring it here. So here's another question for you guys. Within your HTML tags, which are the two nested tags required for a website? So when you write the HTML, what do you usually see inside HTML?
Head
Head and body.
Head, body.
Exactly. So let me, so everybody, if you wanna follow me, please open your VS Code and we'll, let's write some code. Select the folder. So everybody installed VS Code, right? I hope everybody did. So let's create index.html file. What is a shortcut to create the boilerplate?
Восклицатель. I
So,
don't know.
Semicolon.
yeah, if you write here exclamation mark, it will create your boilerplate. So you can see that first there is a doc type. This is the how the HTML will tell the browser that what to expect here. And then here we have HTML tag, that's the parent tag. And inside this HTML tag, we have head, this head and body. So inside the head, we usually have the metadata, so things that are important for the browser to parse your HTML document. You can put here title, and also you usually connect your style sheet here to your HTML document. And inside the body, what do we have inside the body?
Okay, into wait, reparse. Oh no, sorry, not my bad.
So
Everything what
that's
we
the content, right? Things that
user
you will
interface.
render to
Yeah.
the, yeah, exactly. That's whatever user sees when they open the browser and they go to your website. All the structure of the website will be inside the body, right? If you write something here, then it will be shown to the user. So let's open it with the live server. And if I here write hello world and save it, you can see it here inside in the browser as well. So this will render as a content of your website. Okay. So two tags that are required are the head and body, right? Perfect. What does a complete paragraph element look like? What does the paragraph element needs to have in order to be a complete element?
Opening tag, content, and closing tag.
Exactly. So if I start writing P paragraph, so it will automatically, Emmet will automatically create for me the opening tag and the closing tag, yeah? And whatever you write inside, I get content. So whatever you write inside these tags will be the content of that paragraph element, P element. Let me put it side by side so that it's easier for you to see the both things at the same time. Okay, let's close this. Can you see everything clearly, guys? Can you see the code? It's not too small?
Yep.
Perfect. So, let's see. So I am the content. Here's the paragraph, yeah? And what is the difference between tag and element?
Element inside the tag.
Element is inside the tag? It's actually vice versa. Element consists of tags, yeah? So together, this is an element. The opening tag, content, and closing tag, three of them, they will make an element, one element, which is paragraph element, yeah? But tag itself, it can be a closing tag, it can be opening tag and closing tag. And the things that are in between these tags, this is the content of your element, yeah? So that's the difference. So the element will consist of tags, one or more tags. So do all what kind of elements have only one tag?
Self-closing ones, the ones that we don't need. For example, image, I think, doesn't have an closing tag because
Exactly.
it's one big one big thing.
Exactly. So cat image. Let's take this cat. Let's take the image address. So if you right click and you can get the image address and you can put it, we can put it into this. Do we put it into the source or do we put it into alt?
Source.
Source, exactly.
In the source, we put the link, and in the
Exactly.
alt, we put the description of the picture.
Description. So we can put cat here. Why do we need alt? What is alt?
In case the link would not work, so the code knows what's going on over there.
Perfect. Exactly. So this is the alternative text, right? You can have it, you might not have it, but it's more user-friendly if you have it, because sometimes this link will be corrupted or the image that was there before, it might be removed. Then you will not render anything, right? But you want to tell the user that, hey, they're supposed to be cat's image, and so that's what was there before the image got corrupted. So if we open it,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
In case in case the website is downloading and like it's loading and
Mhm.
the picture is not loading yet, is it gonna look like, hey, like it's supposed to be a cat, sorry, like but your internet is not working type of situation, or is it gonna show on the website?
If you put something like
Like,
alternative text.
yeah, I mean, like if your link is broken and
Mhm.
it's not showing, and then you have an alternative version where you describe it, is it gonna just be like, hey, like it's supposed to be a cat actually, or
It will just put like a cat, the word cat.
oh, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so for example, the previous, let me show you the previous link. For some reason, previous link did not work. If I save this, you can see that this image, this link is URL is corrupted. I'm not sure why though, but so since it has like image and it's broken, yeah, like broken into two pieces, and there is this cat, word cat, and this word is coming from our alternative text.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah,
Thank
this is
you.
how it would render to them. This is what the user will show. The user will at least see that, okay, they're supposed to be a cat image.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense.
Annette, can we put like the second link to other page if the first will not work instead
Yeah,
of
we can do that.
text?
We can do that.
How can
Yes.
we do it?
Exactly. There are things that you will learn that are not specifically in the scope of today's class, but you can learn by yourself later on too. There are things that you can optimize, how you can optimize your website. For example, when your website is on a small screen, you can render an image that has a lower how to say not capacity, lower weight. You know, like it doesn't have to be rendered like if it's heavy, you don't have to render that one. You can render a small picture that that's not gonna weigh so much. Yeah, it's not gonna consume a lot of power to render to the user. So you will learn even those things, like how you can optimize your website. So it's like things like lazy loading, using the certain images, loading certain images at certain screen size, for example. And or like you said, you can give an alternative link that they can use. Yeah, that's all about user friendliness. How you can make it more. When you say user friendly, you're taking care of your customer, right? Like people who will open it, who are not you, yeah, or they are not developers. They don't know what's going on in the behind, like under the hood, but they don't need to, right? So you're just trying to take care of the performance and their experience. Okay, so next question is, what does a complete link anchor tag element look like? Hint, needs, and href.
Letter A.
If you start writing A, it will autofill for us the href, right? Like href is same for image, yeah, source. Like this is the attribute that will help us for our link to work actually. So you can, it will take the user to that address. And for example, we can take Satex website and take this and write here courses. And where the href is, we can put here the link that we copied just now. And you can see that here there is a courses, yeah. And let's put here break. Okay, so it goes to the next line. Break is, by the way, is another self-closing tag. Okay? It doesn't need another tag like opening and closing tag. It's self-closing tag. So if I click this A tag, what will happen?
It will send us to the next page.
And will it open in this current
Yes.
tab? Exactly, yeah, it will open right here. How do I make that so that it opens in a different tab.
Target blank.
Target
Perfect.
element.
You know everything, guys. Target blank. Nice. So when I click it again, it will open in a new tab. So again, it's about user friendliness. Sometimes you don't want the user to go to a new page and navigate back to the old page and stuff like that. You want to just open a new tab, right? So this is target blank will help with that. Okay. So we're gonna need href with a certain link, yeah. How do you call this? Is it an absolute link or is it a relative link?
Relative,
Why is it relative?
because there is no like file routes on your computer. It's more like a web link, I know.
Yeah, but actually it's called absolute, it's vice versa. When it's in relation to this file, when this page is located in relation to this file, that's a relative link, yeah? So we are in a certain address and the new page in a different address in relation to this this file, yeah? So but right now, this is an absolute pass because this will work at any page. I can insert it into this HTML. I can create here another folder in my current folder. I can call it test folder. I can put here about HTML. And in here, I can create another anchor tag. And I think we can just put it right here. Yes. So this link will work for this HTML file, and it will work for this HTML file exactly the same way because it's an absolute path. It will work everywhere because we just took it from the, this is the address of this website, right? But if you have this, I want to link this about HTML page to this index HTML page. I need to give an address, and that address needs to be relative to my file in this folder, right? So how do I find about HTML page?
You can write / and you will see options.
Exactly. So it already gives me, when I put // it means that in the current folder, give me the options. So it already gives you HTML, index HTML itself, right? And test folder, because in this folder, 131, there is a test folder and it gives me that option. And we know that about HTML is inside this test folder. So we need to pick this one. And about inside the test folder, it gives us the option of about HTML. So then we pick it. So this is a relative path because it's we specify the address in relation to this current location. So that's why it's relative. Cool. So if we see what we have here, if I click this courses, it will open me about HTML. Yeah, if I write here about HTML page. So you can see that it will open this page that we just created. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? Everything is clear?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's continue. So today we're gonna talk about inline and block elements. So we've seen so far, we worked so far with block elements. What are the block elements? They are all the divs, UL, OL, like ordered lists, unordered lists, and so on. Actually, let me go back to index.html. For example, let me remove this one. So we have here paragraph. And if I have another paragraphs here, and if we save it, you can see that all these paragraphs, they will render starting from the new line. So you can see that I am the content, even though there is more space on the left side over here and here, all this next paragraphs, they are going to the next line because of the because this paragraph element, it's a block element. When you work with block elements, the nature of these elements, is that it will block the whole horizontal line. Even though there is more space, it will not share with other elements. They just block the whatever space there is in a horizontal axis. So let me remove this. And the examples of block elements is paragraph, any other block elements that you know that you notice that, okay, when I use this element, I cannot put anything next to it. For example, div, if I have here lorem 20, and if I have here another div with lorem 10, if I render this, you can see that this div has some space on the horizontal line, yeah, on the left side, but this next div is rendering in the new line. So because the div is a block element, so you can the hint is here even in the name of the element, it will block the horizontal line. Okay.
Does the
And
div takes the whole width or no?
yeah, exactly, the width of the browser.
Yeah.
So it will take the whole horizontal width, whatever is available. And in comparison to that, there is inline elements that you can put next to each other. They're not greedy, so they will share the horizontal space. The example is image. If I create here image and take a cat picture, image address, let's use it here. And I'm gonna just insert it multiple times. If I save it, you can see that it will render images next to each other. So the width of this element is its content, right? So if it fits, it's gonna render, if there is a space, enough space, it will render as many images as possible. So about almost all of them, they are on the same line. But if we start to shrink it, if there is not enough space, the width is bigger than the space allocated, then they will start going to go to the next line. Yeah, but otherwise, if there's space, they will be next to each other. So that's the difference between inline elements and block elements. Block elements will block the whole horizontal space, the width, and the inline elements, they will take as much space as its content. And let's go back to our, so you can see here in this illustration, block element, this is one element, this is one element, this is another. They will go start from new line every time. They appear on the next line like paragraphs. And there are also inline elements, they appear on the same line that they are written on. And let me get block elements. Do you know about W3 School, this website, guys?
Yeah, we do. Well, me, yeah, personally.
Perfect. When you're looking for some information, if you don't know something, or if you don't forget, if you forget something, don't think that you're stupid or something like that. It's a normal thing for all the developers to Google every day, whole day long. Like this is what everybody does. It's not something shameful not to know something or not to remember something. Like at work, it's a very common thing for my colleagues when I ask them something or we don't know how to do something, we will say, hey, let's Google it. So don't be shy to Google it because it's a skill to find the information, and something that's going to be helpful for you in your career is W3 School, this website, and also Stack Overflow. This, and also there is another Medium. They write amazing articles. So let me open Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow, you can find all the questions that any developer ever asked in their lives, and there are so many questions. You don't have to be you don't have to log in here. I don't think you need a login address. Let me write here block elements HTML.
Could you please leave the links in the chat?
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure, why it's not opening? Let me see. So you can see that, for example, for this question, HTML block element overflowing its parent. Yeah, somebody wrote this problem, and so here's how you can read it. Like there will be like a problem statement. Somebody will say like, hey, it's not working. What I'm gonna do? And then they will give the code snippet. Don't worry, you will get there. You will be able to read this code in a few minutes, and you don't even need to read like line by line. You can just skim it, scan it, and then you can go to the answers. So there will be these contributors, nobody really pays them. They just contribute, they answer all the questions. These are most of them, they are answered by very, very experienced developers, like freelancers and so on. So there will be some answers that you can find. I can give you this link. I will insert it to the chat. But Stack Overflow answer will be one of the first answers that you will, one of the first search engine answers, like links that you will get when you search in Google or Yahoo. So it's very easy to find it. For example, here it right away saying like, hey, go to Stack Overflow. It's because it's a go-to website for all the developers. But another thing is like if you're trying to find some information about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can go to W3 School. So here, HTML block and inline elements. Every HTML element has a default display value, and depending on what type of element it is. So default value, it can be block or inline. So some of the elements, they're block, some of them are inline. The key thing here is for you not to be surprised why your element is behaving certain way, because you are the front-end developer. You need to know when you write paragraph, how it's going to behave itself, right? Because if you don't know why it's behaving certain way, because probably there is something in the code that's overriding that style. Because this, you can make block element inline element, you can make inline element a block element. You can change its behavior as a developer. So let's see. So here are the block level elements in HTML. Address, you probably don't know. I also don't really know what this address is used for, but article, aside, field set, HR, paragraphs, headers, OL, UL, like all these elements will behave as a block level element. What it means is that it will take the whole horizontal line. You cannot expect them to share space with other elements. Inline elements, here are the examples of inline elements. For example, span is an inline element. So A tags, buttons, inputs, the script, text area, and so on. So if you're looking for some information, you can feel free to go to W3 School and read about it. So a lot of time will be spent as a developer in your career looking for answer and reading some kind of documentation or code. So start to get used to it right now. Okay. Block and inline elements. So CSS divides HTML into two types. So by their display, depending on how they will be displayed, inline and block. After block elements, browser renders a new line. And so here are the examples of inline elements: image, a tag, break, and so on. And block elements are paragraphs, H1, UL, LI, almost everything else. Like okay. An element div is a block element, block level element. And here you can see that when we created this div and this div, every time they started from the new line. And div is used to style together multiple elements or put them together as a container. So div is like a container element, yeah. And a division, yeah, so that's what it stands for, division or section of content using an HTML page. It's used to group elements and format them with CSS. For example, what I can do here, so I have here multiple paragraphs, yeah. So let me create here. So if I want to create a paragraph with a style of, with a class of, let's say red, and I want 5 of them. So you just use this shortcut. So let me just put it here. So I'm trying to create paragraph like p tag. I'll apply style with a dot. That's like a shortcut to write your style. For example, like create a class, sorry. I can write here green. So that's going to be a class name. And if I'm trying to create like 3 of them, I just multiply it by 3. So it will automatically create for me 3 paragraphs. So it's like a shortcut if you're trying to avoid using it multiple times. Also, let's write here some content. Oops. Here.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the shortcut again?
So if you're trying to create image,
Mm-hmm.
img, and you know that you're going to apply same class to your image, so then you can put dot and the class name. So for example, I'm gonna go with a very lazy class name, my class, and I'm trying to create like 4 of them. I will just multiply by 4. So this will create 4 images.
Okay.
The only thing you just need to just format it a little bit. So you can see that all of them has class of my class.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. So when I go to my, let me delete this test folder. I'm not going to need it right now. So I'm going to create inside 131 folder, style CSS. And let's divide our screen into 2 parts. I want to apply to all these paragraphs same style. How can I do it? I want to make them all red.
We need to put everything in div first.
But without putting it into div. We'll get there though. Thank you for suggesting that idea.
This class name and
Yeah,
CSS.
yeah. Also, we can use the paragraph, right? Like the tag itself. You can style it using tag. You can style it using class. You can style it by grouping it into one element, like a parent element. So in our case, since we don't have any other paragraphs, I could just put here, hey, apply my style for all the paragraphs, right? So I can put here, how do I make the color red? The text color of this paragraph.
That's color.
Perfect. Color red, yeah. Let's see what's happening with our page. Okay, let me remove all these cats. And we can remove this one for now. So I applied color red, but it's not working. Why do you think it's not working?
href should be href unit.
Yay. Exactly, right? We have a bug, our first bug. So style CSS, we connected it. Perfect, now it's working perfectly. Let's say I have here another paragraph. Here I'm gonna put Lorem 10. But I don't want this to be red. What do I do now? I want only this test paragraphs to be red.
To select last paragraph with P last of type.
Nice. It's a good suggestion. Perfect. That's one way. Other way is we are applying red to all the paragraphs, right?
Yes.
Instead, we could just target the paragraph that has class of red. Let's try that. Paragraph that has class of red, and that way we apply only to the things that are like things that we want to, right? So the last one is not, we are not targeting it anymore. Perfect. What's another way? So somebody suggested right now to wrap it with another container. So let's do that. Div. So if you're trying to create a div with a certain class, for example, I'm gonna put here container, like dot container. If you just write dot container, that will create you div with a class of container. So you can see that it's like also another shortcut here. And I want to move this up to this level. And now I have a container wrapping all my paragraphs. And I can actually apply style of red to my container because it's controlling everything that's inside. So let's do that. I'm going to just put here container and apply style of red. Let's see what didn't work. Color red container. Let me remove this one for now. Should work, right? Okay, perfect. I think we just didn't save it. So now everything that is inside our div has a text color of red. So that's the purpose of div, how you can use the div to use it as a container so that you can put multiple elements inside, give them a certain style so that you can control it better, how they look, how they behave. Okay. Let's see. And apply IDs and classes to divs to control their styles with CSS. Let's do this right now. I want to create another div that has class of box. Actually, let's create like 5 of them. And here I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 boxes. And I want to target this box. These boxes, and how can I create a square from these boxes? How can I make a square?
What does mean square, like field
You mean border?
border? You can use the background color.
Background color,
Background color, yeah.
the red, okay. So now they're all like smooshed together, but I want every div to be a separate box. I want
You
them to
can
be
try
separate.
like
Use
border.
margin.
So let's put margin bottom, maybe 10 pixels. So margin bottom, what it does is it will give a certain space, some margin below, like we're targeting bottom, yeah. So it will add some space below the box, so that we can separate them from each other. And we can also apply width to this box, say 200 pixels. And also we can add height. And I think we can just get rid of this. So we have, let's set actually 100, 100, so we can see them all. Okay. So now I'm controlling all my divs with just one class. So like it's like we're targeting multiple elements and controlling them because we applied one class to all of them. Imagine that you have a family, and in your family you have 5 people, and all of you share one last name, family name, right? Like this is exactly the same way for all. You can have multiple elements and they can share one class name, and you can unite them together and style them together. Let's say I want to have this third box to be green. How can I do it? I want to override its style. I want it to be only this one to be green.
By using ID.
Yeah, you can use ID. I can say here, third box, or just third. And here I will just do hashtag pound third. And oops, third. And here I can just say background color. Background color green, yeah. I think that's what we were going to do. And now I just selected one of the elements and applied different colors. So imagine that you are part of the family, but you have your own name, yeah. So that's the ID. Like you're just differentiating, giving ID to element. Perfect. I think we are at a time when we can take a break. Before we take a break, do you have any questions? Is the speed okay? Everybody's following me. I'm not speaking too slowly or too fast.
No, everything is cool. Everything is
Okay,
great.
perfect,
It's
perfect.
absolutely fine.
Manira, I have a question here. How can we put here? I'm working here on my desktop, and div and class. How I must to write if it must be true to make it true?
To make it what?
No, true.
To make it through?
Так, чтобы
You can say
правильно
it in Russian if you want.
чтобы эта программа правильно работала, что надо делать? Тут я писала, что-то класс не пишется.
Класс не пишется. Okay. Do you want to share your screen?
Yes.
Let's debug it together. And if you want to take a break, feel free to leave. We are going to do some debugging. Okay, you can share your screen. We have 312 HTML. Okay, but you are rendering index HTML, yeah?
Yes, here index HTML. I try to write what you are right. Make, and it's another page. Div. I can write here div. I write some. Yes.
And you would like to write a class?
Yes, I can write. Here I must write class to make it.
It should be inside the tag. So before you see that the first div, видите
Inside.
скобочки, как закрываются скобочки, там внутри надо писать, because it's an attribute, right? You need to put a space between div and class. Perfect.
Okay.
Nice, well done. And you can give it any class. Just make sure that you're rendering the proper, you're opening the proper tab, because right now you are opening the index.html tab. Yeah, you were doing it exactly right. So you can write a class of a box.
Okay. How we must divide the
into two different tabs?
Yes.
Okay, you can click, can you go to the right corner, top, yeah.
Here?
And next to it, you see the two screens, like there is a one box below this, little bit below, чуть-чуть вниз, вот это, да, вот эта иконка, которая как будто книжка выглядит. Little bit below, and in the corner, a little bit below. You see 3 dots?
Here, yeah?
To the left side. Yeah, to the left side.
How I can 1 minute. Just to make it.
Is it the Zoom that's covering it? Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, it sometimes it just covers the whole thing, the top part. You can drag that actually, there's Zoom's menu. Видите 3 точки? Рядом с 3 точками есть иконка, да. Нажмите, вот, все, супер. Как две эти открылись. Perfect. You can now drag it and resize the size of the screen.
Так, значит, тут я могу работать и тут тоже, да, вот?
Да, вы можете одновременно в 2 этих работать. Здесь 312 можете закрыть.
Так, закрыть.
You can see the X, right? Next to 312.
Here, yeah?
Yes, you can close it. Now you have 2 different files, 312 on one side, index.html on the other side. Perfect.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so now we can, let me share my screen, and I will put here a timer for 10 minutes. And everybody feel free to take 10-minute break. During the break, I encourage everybody not to ask questions, so that people who went for a break, they don't have a feeling of FOMO, so that everybody can just chill and relax. So we do not discuss anything during 10 minutes break. And if you have any questions, you can ask it after 10 minutes. Okay. See you in 10 minutes. So we talked about divs, and all the divs, they are block level elements. So they will, whatever if you put one div, it's gonna block the whole horizontal line. If you put content inside, it will also block. It will still block the whole line. Yeah, so just be aware about it. And we use divs to group elements together. We can style it using giving it ID and or class name. Yeah, so for example, if I put here inside this div, I can put here inside some paragraph with Lauren 5, and I have here this paragraph that's inside this box, right? And let's say I want to, let's put also anchor tag that will take us to CTEK's website. Let's put CTEK. We remove all this extra things. We don't need them. So we have, oh, I think I closed. So we have this link, CTEK, right? And if I want to target this link, how do I do it? One way is to say just div that has a tag, right? Or we can right away say, okay, a tag, for example, color, we can give it color white. And this way we can target this certain element. But let's say other element also has a tag, and this one will be exactly the same. Let me actually remove this one. But I want this link to be black one, yeah. So, but since we are targeting all the A tags, we are actually styling both of the A tags, this one and this one. But if you want to say like, hey, I want to only this anchor tag to be white, but this one to be black, like keep being black. In that case, what we can do is we can differentiate this anchor tag. And how do we differentiate it, guys? How do I target only this CTEK link?
Maybe you can write the near the third class.
Exactly. So we can actually target it using its parent. Yeah. So we can say like, hey, we need anchor tag that's inside this div that has ID of third. Yeah. We are giving it more specific address. So we can put here ID third. So what it means is that some element that has ID of third, look for a tag inside this third element, look for a tag and apply this rule. Yeah. So we are giving more specific instruction here. So you can see that now this CTEK's first CTEK links style went back to previous, and only we are targeting this link that's inside the third box. So this is how you can control the style of your elements that are inside the divs. Okay, let's continue. The div tag is used everywhere to group elements together into sections, and you can wrap groups of elements in a div to style them differently. So we saw that example here before when we styled together multiple paragraphs. Grouping elements as a div. For example, we have here this example where, let's put this, actually use this one. So we have a div that has class of align right, and we have here 2 paragraphs. So inside this div, we have 2 paragraphs, and outside the div, we have 2 paragraphs. Yeah. So I hope that the code is clear here. And for this, if we use this div has a class of align right, yeah, and it's a parent of these 2 paragraphs. If we apply the CSS rule that says that, okay, whatever element has align right, which is this div, yeah, make all the text align right, color purple, font weight bold. If we apply this, what will happen is that everything that's inside this class will have text, it will be all aligned to the right, and color will become purple, and font weight will be bold. So that will be applied to these first two paragraphs. So you can see that if we don't put it there, let me just comment it out. You can see that all of them, they are on the same alignment. They all align to the left, and color is black. Font size is I think it's around probably 10 pixels, not sure. But if we apply this, our font weight is regular. So if we apply this, everything that's inside the align right will change its style. So this is how we can group it together. Okay, do we have any questions till now?
No, nothing.
Okay, everything is clear so far. Perfect. So HTML5 introduced some elements. So HTML5 is a new version of HTML. Before HTML5, there was HTML4. With introduction of HTML5, there were new elements that were introduced that have more structure, that gives more structure and meaning to our HTML code. So, for example, some of the most commonly used new tags, they are header, nav, article, section, main, and footer. Other HTML elements are like semantic HTML elements are image, anchor tag, paragraph, and so on and so on. So there are lots of semantic HTML tags of the HTML elements. The only two that don't have a semantic meaning is that the div and span, they don't hold any meaning, but the rest of the elements, they all carry some kind of meaning behind. So for example, when you read P, when we say P stands for paragraph, yeah, we right away know that we are expecting a paragraph. Yeah, when you write P, we know that it will be rendered as a paragraph. Yeah, it will start from a new line. When we see image, when we use image, we right away know that whatever is inside this, what it does is it will show some kind of image to the user. So what it means is that when you're writing your code, somebody else is reading it and they understand what your, more or less, they will know the structure of your website. Semantic, so this is, I'm going to introduce a new terminology, which means semantic HTML elements. What it means is that elements that have some meaning. And why do we use semantic HTML? First of all, when somebody reads your website, they will, like the code of your website, the structure of your website, they will know what your a certain part of your code does. For example, if you're using header, so here I can put here header, and here I'm going to put UL with some LIs. And this one will be home, about. Actually, usually inside, yeah, we can use it. We can keep using it here. So this one will be home, about, and contacts. And here I'm going to write image, and this one will be some kind of logo. And for the image, we can take, we can use, do we have CTX logo here? Yes, we do. So if you go to, have you used this before, guys? Like, have you opened this part of the,
No, I didn't find it, Mac. How to do this?
oh, if you just do right click on any website, and you will see that the last one will be inspect. So when you open this, you will see developer tools. This is a developer tool. This is usually what nobody really goes into this part of the website because this is usually used by developers to see the structure of the website. You can see actually like how this is built using what kind of elements.
I just don't have this one. Inspect. When
Do
I
you
click,
have right click?
right click. In
Yeah,
Mac, I don't know. I just using 2 fingers to open this page.
how do you go to this part, like
By touching
the menu?
I touch with two fingers once.
I see.
I have
Any
just
Mac users, what do you do, guys? I use Windows. I'm not really sure what's the right click there.
Yeah, so 2 fingers, it's right click, and you can check like inspect.
So I'm going to use this copy image and we can put it right here. So this is the header, usually means that this is the starting, like the top part of your website. So if I want to, let's style it a little bit. I'm going to style this image so that its width is 100 pixel. And I know that image is already inline element, right? Like it's not actually pushing this element down, but UL is a block element. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to override this UL and I'm going to make it display property as an inline. So what it does is I can actually put inline block. So what it does is it will go next on the same line with this image. So this is usually how you see the websites. And also I can put inline li, ULLI, display, let me see, display, inline, let's put inline block so that they all will be same line as well. Context. So now we have this part of the website where this is a logo. Let's make it 50 pixels maybe. So we're not gonna spend too much time on it. What I'm trying to show you is that if I'm a developer, let's say this code is written by somebody else, but when I'm going into the code and I'm reading what's inside this body, when I see header, I know that this is whatever goes on the top of the website. So this is the head of the website. So I know that inside this header, I might expect some logo, I might expect some navigation into different parts of the website, and so on. What other nav? Yeah, so nav, I can actually wrap this UL because nav means that navigation. Yeah, so whatever helps the user to navigate your website, I can put this nav, wrap it this UL because actually our UL element acts as a navigation. And for the nav itself is actually a div, but it's just named differently. Like it has the div property. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just put nav and it will have inline block. So it's so that we can, this image and the navigation element, they will share the same space. What else? Article, the articles they use to write some kind of article inside. So for example, I can have here main, and inside the main, I can put multiple articles. This article will have lorem 100, and you can see this is one article, for example, and it might have some kind of title. So for, let's put H3, article 1, for example. And I can copy this. Let's put this into a paragraph. So to make it more semantic. So if I put paragraph, and inside this paragraph, I'll just place this code. I want to put 3 articles on my page. So I'm going to just copy paste it twice. So 1, 2. This one will be article 2. This one will be article 3. So now you can see that we have 3 articles. And when you look at it, it actually gets rendered like you don't really see the difference, right? Like it behaves like a regular div. This article behaves like a regular div. This nav behaves like a regular div. So it's actually, they're all actually divs, but they just have a different name, more meaningful name. So we can actually replace this main with a div. Let me bring it back. So I can replace all the articles with a div, and you can see that nothing will really change. So I'm going to put here div, and I'm going to replace all the articles with div. So I'm going to save it. You can see that nothing will change on this page. Let's do it. Actually, I also replaced this article. Okay, so like nothing major changed because all the semantic elements, this header, nav, section, mainly they are just a div, but we want them to have more meaning, to carry more meaning, to have more information about its content. So that's why HTML5, when it was released, it released also this kind of elements that you can use to give more meaning to your code. Other thing is that semantic HTML elements, they will help with screen readers. For example, for people who cannot see, who cannot see your website, or for older people who use screen readers to use your website. So some of the screen readers, they can actually see, like they can actually access the elements, HTML elements, and that will help the screen readers to work better. So for example, they can see actually how many LI elements, list elements you have inside. So they can render this, they can tell this information to the people that are using screen readers. Because for us, for people who can see the website, we know, okay, there are 3 elements, right? In here. So there is home, there is about, there is context. Like for us, it's easy, right? But people who cannot see it, they need more information. So semantic elements, they will help the people who cannot see the website to get that information using screen readers. And screen readers work better with semantic elements. Other thing, why we use semantic elements is have you heard about search engine optimization before? Anybody heard about search engine optimization? What it means?
Algorithms, you mean?
Yeah, it's basically how when you create a website, you want your website to be used by other people, right? And you want it to be found. So if you want it to be used, you want it to be found in internet, right? So for example, somebody types, if I type say tech, I want Yahoo or Google to give me saytech.co first, right? Because otherwise, me who's interested in so for example, I created this website, let's say, I want my customers to find me easily. So, but if I what's responsible for it to be placed here is the search engine optimization, like search engines, right? And there is something called search engine optimization. SEO it's what helps you to be found quicker by your customer. And because search engine is Google, Yahoo, right? So when somebody types, for example, bootcamp, you want CTech, for example, wants to be found first, right? But whoever first there will be whatever is sponsored, right? Some people who paid Yahoo or Google, they will be found first. The next who will be found is the whatever is closest to the keyword that's being searched. And there are other key factors that influence what place your website takes on this list. Yeah, for example, if your content doesn't match the title of your website, or what kind of service you're giving, then search engine optimization will fail to give you customers, to bring you customers. Among other things, semantic HTML, like how many meaningful tags you're using when you're building a website, it can also influence search engine optimization. If you're using a lot of maximum number of meaningful tags, it will actually bring up your rating, and that way you can influence where you will be located in this list. So, for example, I almost never go to past third page, yeah, of all the things that are Yahoo or Google is listing here. So rarely people go past the second page, I think. So you want it to be search engine optimized. Okay. So semantic HTML, what's their purpose is to give more meaning to your HTML elements when you see them, so that you can expect what to expect from their content. The second thing, it helps with their screen readers, and there is actually a name for that, is accessibility. So accessibility, let's see, meaning accessibility, let's say in HTML.
I think it should be web accessibility.
What's up?
Web accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
So accessibility, what it means is that how user-friendly your website is for people who cannot read, who cannot read or who cannot see your website, for example. Let's see. And one way to improve the accessibility of your website is there are multiple ways how you can improve its website. So, for example, your font size should be good, of a good size. It shouldn't be too small, for example. Or I can show you one website that has great. Let me see. I think this website had a good. For example, you can see here this icon on the in this corner. If I click it, it will show me accessibility menu. This is actually like a plugin that you can add to your website. And what it does is, for example, if I click this contrast, it will give me different modes so that I can control it. For example, if this is for people who have certain eyesight, like they want more contrast or less contrast. In that case, for example, if I want dark contrast, then this is the content that I'm gonna see. Highlight the links. For example, I want to see all the links. So this way, if I click this highlight the links, they all will be underlined. bigger text. If I have eyesight, problems with eyesight, if I cannot read the content, for example, I'm like people who are old, for example, right? So they want the bigger text. This way they can actually control it as well. Text spacing, hide images. I don't want all this distraction. I want the images to be hidden, dyslexia friendly. So they will be all like a little bit spaced out as well. There are so many things that you can do to increase the accessibility, user friendliness for people who cannot see, visually impaired people. Text align, left, right, center, and so on. Saturation, you can increase or decrease the saturation. So this is an accessibility tool. I want to tell you, like, I just want to give you the examples of what accessibility means. So you can control a lot of styling for people, let's say for your users, yeah. And when you use semantic HTML, that's also about accessibility. You're making, for example, for screen readers, you're helping the work of screen readers to go smoothly by using semantic HTML elements. And why I'm going so deep into semantic HTML, because this is one of the interview questions. So please pay some attention, because this will be during your mock interviews at the end of the HTML block. When we finish HTML and CSS, we're gonna ask you these questions. And also because we ask these questions because these questions might be asked during your real interview for your real job. Because semantic HTML is a big topic, accessibility is a big topic. How to improve accessibility, what accessibility means, search engine optimization, like how do you improve search engine optimization of your website and stuff like that. But these are all the questions that you might be asked during your interview, because you are the front-end developer. You need to know about all these things. If you want to know more, like deeper, please again Google it, and I would suggest to go to this Medium accessibility article. So the medium.com is a great website that where you can find lots of articles written by experts in their fields. Yeah, so they will write, for example, web development. You can choose web development, and you can say HTML tags that help you build modern front ends, from data science to AI developer, like all kind of different topics. But also you can search here by your topic. For example, I want to search for accessibility. If you want to know deeper about all this stuff, you can how school and education could be more accessibility, accessibility. Yeah. Accessibility, web development, how to make our shiny apps accessible, accessibility, web things, buildings, accessibility, web development, building web for everyone. So for example, this one. This is an article that, I think this is a paid part of the Medium, but I would suggest you to use this website to learn more about technology. This is an amazing website. They write really good quality content. So another interview question that I was asked a lot, and I heard from students that they get asked a lot, is how do you learn about technology? How do you stay up to date with the changes in technology world? So you can say, for example, you can actually sign up for Medium and keep reading different articles of your interest. And during your interview, you can easily say, yeah, I read Medium. And that's a perfectly valid answer, right? And it will help you to stay current with all the changes, to deepen your knowledge, and etc. Okay, let's move on. So there is a, let's develop it, okay. Let's create a site using divs to separate. Okay, we need to create a site using divs to separate content into different sections on our page, create a header, content area, sidebar, and footer. Let's go to this one. Okay, let's follow this task. Let's create this quickly. So everybody, please open your VS Code. I hope that let's develop it together. So first of all, what do we need to do?
Create a new file. Oh,
Exactly, we need to create a new file. Let's skip that step because we luckily we have a file. With a header, content area, sidebar, and footer. Okay, let's start with header. Let's create the header. And let me see, maybe we have a CTEX website, maybe we have a nice project here that we can start building. Preparation. Think over here. I just want to use as a boilerplate. Okay, perfect. This is perfect. This is actually one of your homeworks, but we can use it. Here. Let's build it together. This is a little bit more advanced than what they asked us to do, but why not? So we need to have a container, right? So let's create a div that has class of container. Oops. Class of container. And okay. What else? What do we need to do?
We will create header inside of div. And nav inside of header.
Exactly. Header, oops. I'll just write here header. And inside this container, I'm going to write here container. Okay. Inside here, we need a nav. Nice. Inside this nav bar, let's add some UL and allies. So this will be a home page. This is about. And ally. Okay, here let's put contacts. Okay. What else? Where do we create this wrapper? And this question is for Isabek. Yeah. So where do we create? So next we need to create a wrapper, right? Where do we create this wrapper?
I think we create it in out of nav.
Would you like to put it here? Wrapper?
Or I think it's different div.
Outside, right? So outside this header, because you can see that here header ends, yeah? There is a header and outside the header, there is a wrapper. So let's do that. Let's put here. We can create it as main, I think, and put here wrapper. This is something that's going to wrap it. Okay. What else?
Footer.
Footer?
Yeah,
But
right.
inside the wrapper we have two elements, yeah?
Oh, it's two divs maybe. Oh no, sidebar and I don't know which one is on the left.
Which one we can put here?
Maybe div.
Yeah, let's put a div. I don't think there is a HTML tag called content, but we can put here content, div with a class of content, and it has sub content 1 and sub content 2. We can put here maybe paragraphs. Paragraph with a class of content 1. And here we can write sub content 1. And we'll just duplicate it, put here content 2, sub content 2, right? Okay. And outside this content, what kind of element we can use here for sidebar?
Sidebar.
I think it's called aside, yeah?
Oh, aside, yeah, right.
Perfect.
It's pretty similar, like.
Yeah. Sidebar, okay. Let me just close all these tags again so that it's easier for us to click it. We don't need this. Okay, we need this one. And what else? We need a footer, right? Somebody said we need a footer. Let's create a footer. And it will be, we need to put text of footer. Now we have everything. Right? Do we have everything?
Right.
Yeah. I think here, when it comes to navbar, we are putting more elements than we should. I think here what we need to do is we exactly need to replicate this image. So I'm going to just remove the UL, but in a real website, you will put UL and LIs, right? To put your navigation addresses. But for now, I think here we need to do the bare minimum, like just put, place the tags in their places. So navbar, inside the navbar, I'm gonna just put nav. So we have a container, we have a header, we have navbar, we have a wrapper that has two, we have a wrapper that has two kids, like two children. The div that has a class of content and a site. And the div that has class of content has two children as well. Paragraph with a class of content 1, paragraph with content 2, class of content 2. And then we have a footer. Perfect. So, would you like to take a break now before we style it? Or you want to style it and then we take a break?
Maybe now.
Yeah, let's take it now. 10-minute break. If you'd like to start styling it during the break, it's up to you.
Okay.
See you in 10 minutes. Recording. So we have here the structure of our code, right? So we're going to style it in a bit with style CSS. But before we go into it, there is so here is the sample code that we could use. If you start to write something like this, then you can just verify if your structure is right or not, looking at this code, but we can just skip it for now. Okay, also we can skip it for now. So it's actually very similar to what we did there as well, right? So we have a main. We put the aside next to the main, inside the main. It actually doesn't matter. It's up to you guys how you would like to structure it, as long as it's meaningful. So let's talk about spans. Span is an inline element. So who can remind me what is an inline element? What's the nature of inline element?
It takes whole width.
That's a block element, right?
Oh,
Lines
it's
can share the same line with other
Exactly,
elements.
exactly. If there is enough, if there is a width, if there is a space, the inline elements can share one horizontal line. Yeah, so each new span is and span is an inline element. So each new span is rendered next to each other and only wraps when it reaches the edge of the containing element, and can be used to apply styles to text inline so as not to break the flow of content. For example, I'm gonna put a text here somewhere. Let's create here. I'm gonna use this paragraph for now. I'm going to create a lorem with 20 words. And let's see it. So here's our lorem with 20 words. And if I want to take these 3 words, $sit emit, like random words, if I want to take these 3 words and make them red, how I can do it? I can wrap it with a span. So let's write this. Let's find these three words. Yeah. So these are the 3 words. I can wrap these 3 words with a span element. So let's see how we can do it. So span element. I can create it and take these 3 words, cut it out, put it inside. And what I can do is I can target this span that wraps these 3 words and apply certain style that I want to. So if you want to highlight a word, if you underline it, if you want to underline it, make the different text size, different text color, you can do it with a span. Because span, it's not gonna break the flow of this paragraph in a whole. So this $sit emit is still gonna, if I save it, you can see that these 3 words did not go to the next line. Yeah, so when you look at it, it looks exactly the same, because span, what it does is it's just gonna wrap it in like an invisible coat. But with a span, you can target it now. So now we can put here span. We can give it a class of my span, for example. And I'm going to copy this style here and place it here. I wanted the color to be green. And if I want the text to be bold, how do I do it, guys? What's the property to make the color bold?
Text, transaction, style,
Weight
font weight.
on
Yeah.
font
weight,
weight.
exactly. Font weight. Let's make it bold. Let's make it. How do I make it underline?
I think it's text decoration.
Text decoration. Underline, nice. Now we have a text decoration. Okay, how do I make it all capital words, like capital letters, all of them?
Text transform capitalize, I think.
Text transform, but uppercase. I capitalize, it will just make first word capital, but if I put uppercase, it's gonna
Okay,
make
yeah.
all the letters uppercase. So you can see now what you can do is a span. It's not gonna ruin the structure of your paragraph, but without ruining the structure, the flow of the information, like the words, we can still target part of the paragraph, yeah, or part of your website. So that's why we use spans. Oops. Let's go back to our back to our presentation. Okay, So you can see that span, we can create inside it in any paragraph. And if you want to highlight certain word, certain part of the paragraph, you can just wrap that word with one or multiple words with a span and give a class name and then highlight, for example, here, highlight them. So, and then apply CSS rules. It's that easy. And let's add some spans to our content to help highlight some text. So this, you can use it, do it at home if you want to, like, but I think here it's pretty much, you have this task actually at work for your homework. Next, let's talk about pseudo classes. Pseudo classes is, let's see. Pseudo classes, they will change the format, for example, of a link. When you hover over, it's accomplished by using pseudo classes. CSS pseudo classes are used to add special effect to some selectors. For example, if I have a button and I'm going to put here, click me. Let's look at it. Okay, we have a button here. Oops. We have a button here. Let's put it all the way down here. You can see that I can hover it. Yeah, hover means putting a mouse on top of it. And when I hover this button, I want it to be blue color, background blue color. So what I can do is I can find my button, I can select it and use a pseudo class hover. And at the state when user hovers your element, I want to change its background to blue. So you can see that it's right now a gray color. If I hover it, now it's blue. You can see that the text is not visible. What I want to do is I want to make the text, the color of the text white. So you can see that it's black color, text is black, the background is gray, but when I hover it, you can see that now it changes. So you've probably seen it a lot of times in websites. When you hover something will happen, right? The element might jump, element might change the color and so on. So a tag, for example, if I put here anchor tag and let's put this link here, visit our website. So let's actually use some Times, New York Times. I want to show you how something will behave. NewYorkTimes.com. Okay, let's take this one, copy link address and put it here. Oops, it's something else. Copy link address. No. It's copying me this one. Okay, let's open this. Perfect. So now you can see that the A tag, you can see it over here. It has multiple states. So when you click the link, when you are clicking, when something is visited, and so on. So, for example, A tag link, it has link, visited, hover, and active. Let's use its hover state to change its hover. Okay, on hover, I want the font size to be 30 pixels. 30 pixels. So you can see that now when I hover it, it goes bigger, yeah. Other hover states must come after a link. So let's use this one. I want the color to be magenta. We might not be able to see the link, but let's put visited. Visited. Oops. So since we visited this website already, so now you can, after this website is visited, after it's clicked, it will show up like this. For example, in this Yahoo, you can see that all the links, they are blue, right? But since we visited this New York Times already, now it's showing up as a purple, a little bit purple, a little bit pinkish. So this is a way of saying this page that, hey, you already visited, it's giving me some information this way. But when you don't visit the link, it's blue, right? Like its default color is blue. Like you can control all these kind of states of some elements, like anchor tags and buttons, images, and stuff like that. You can control their states using pseudo classes. Okay, I can show you some. Let's look at some pseudo classes. W is cool. Let's look at the examples of pseudo classes. There are multiple pseudo classes, like we've already seen some of them: hover, visited, active. There are like disabled and so on. So if link is unvisited, if you haven't visited yet, it has a state of link. You can control it. So you can show a link, but when the user hasn't visited yet, you can change its color, for example. Both of them, yeah, visited, okay. On hover state, you can change its color again, and on active state, you can change its color again. And there are some other pseudo classes as well. For example, let's look at first child. So first child means is that the first element of P of this kind, yeah? So if you have multiple paragraphs on a page, so let's create it here. Paragraph, I want to create 3 paragraphs. This one will be paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 and 3. I think I have here. So here I can say, let's wrap it with some kind of div. Div with a style of class of containers. I'm going to put all my paragraphs inside. And I want to target this first paragraph. There are multiple ways how you can target it. You can give it a class name, you can give it the ID, but also we know that inside this container, this paragraph is the first one, yeah? So what you can do is, let me copy this code. I can just write inside the container, class container, I have a paragraph that's first child and make its color blue. While I don't save it, you can see it that its color is black right now, and we are expecting its color to change to blue. So you can see here the color changed to blue. Okay. I think we are targeting both of them. It's okay. Okay. Yeah, because we have two containers, right? So in this container, we have this paragraph, and this container, we have this paragraph. So that's why we're targeting this paragraph and this paragraph. If I put it as a, let's put it different name, wrapper. Wrapper. Let's copy this and put it here. Let's save it. So now we are targeting only this paragraph because there is only one class that has a wrapper class name, and only div with one class name wrapper. And inside that we have multiple paragraphs, but we are targeting the first paragraph. And there are other ways, there are other pseudo classes like nth child, where you can specify second child or third child, fourth child, etc., or last child. So if I put here last child, we are going to target the last paragraph inside this wrapper. So you don't have to remember all this because there is always W through school, and you can go there and read about pseudo classes. I'm just giving you like a generic information, what's out there. So here you can see that there is active, checked, disabled, empty, enabled. Some of them I don't even know. I don't really use at work, but this is all CSS pseudo classes. Do you have any questions till now, guys?
Nope.
Okay. If I'm going too fast, or you want to ask more, like I don't know, if you didn't hear something, just let me know. You can just stop me because I want you to understand the material, right? So don't hesitate, don't be shy to stop. So next important thing, it's a fun topic. I love this topic, box model.
Excuse me,
Hi.
Simona.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a question. So what is the difference between pseudo classes and pseudo elements?
Oh, good question. Pseudo elements. Pseudo elements, they are the elements pseudo elements, they are the things, first line, first letter, actually. I thought pseudo classes before. Okay, so pseudo elements, we've seen so far that we can add content to our website with HTML, right? This is what we've seen so far. But you can actually add some stuff with pseudo elements. Pseudo element means that there is an element, but it's not really an element, right? Pseudo means kind of an element. So you can actually add something using style CSS. For example, I have a button here. And for the button, I can add a pseudo element before. So the difference between pseudo class and pseudo element, also in syntax, when you're using pseudo class, there is only one column. With the pseudo elements, there are two columns. So for example, here I'm gonna add before, and it's gonna need content, and inside this content, I can write anything. So like test, hope this will work. So let me open this again. So you see my button here, click me. I just wrote next in front of click me, test. So if I inspect this page, you will see that there is some kind of pseudo element where my button is. Where's my button? Paragraph, a little bit up, right here. So inside this button, there is this before element, but it's not really element because we didn't create it with HTML tags, right? We just added with CSS. But you can't see it on the website. So this is a pseudo element. You cannot really control its width, height, and style, etc. But what you can do is you can still use it. Why we use it? Sometimes we want to place like an icon inside an element. For example, pseudo element icon. Let's see. There should be some kind of code. Let me find it. This is usually like a code representation. Some kind of code representation of an icon. Let me find it. Pseudo classes element icon.
You mean it's gonna be animated or something?
No, it's not gonna be animated. It's just gonna be like just an icon, like a
Like you,
like
you
arrow
click it
down.
once and it changes that icon. No?
No, it's just gonna appear next to this text, right? So we can
Oh,
write the text inside HTML, but we cannot really, sometimes we want to add some kind of icon down, like arrow down, arrow up, like some kind of pseudo element. So I'm just trying to find the code representation for content CSS. First, some properties. Let me see. Pseudo element content. Let's copy this one.
It means, okay, this icon not somewhere in the HTML, but it's gonna be headed by CSS, right?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can see that we have a star, right? We did not add it to HTML. We added with CSS, and it becomes part of button, but it's not the button that we created with HTML. We can control it with a CSS. It will act like it will look like a element when you look at it, but it's not real element, right? That's why it's called pseudo element. Same thing you can do with an after. So I'm going to just comment it out, this one. If you put after, the difference between before and after is that you remember the star was on left side, now it's on right side. So there is a before and after, this kind of two pseudo elements that are commonly used in when you're writing your website, creating your website. So that's the difference. Like pseudo class will will allow you to control the style of the element at certain state, like on hover state, on visited state, on active state, on disabled state. So the element will allow you to insert the content as like an element that will look like an element.
Okay. And so the different is just one colon or double?
Yes, when you write it,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
And here you need to write after, here you need to write a specific state of the element.
Okay, yep, thank you.
You're welcome. So next we will talk about box model. Box model is that, for example, if you have any element on your page, I'm going to actually create a model box here. I'm going to remove this one for now. Let's create a div with a, I'm gonna just keep doing it with shortcuts so that you also get used to these shortcuts. Sometimes I also forget. So we have we'll create a box. Div with a class of box. And let me remove this one. Let's target this box. I'm going to write here box 1. And here for this box, I will give a width of 100 pixels. and height of 100 pixels. And some background color. Background color of, let's do it green. And okay, we have everything I think so far that I need. Let me remove all this stuff. Okay, so we have a box. Using your developer tools, what you can do is you can actually see every element, yeah, on your page. So if I click this, it will give me all the style that I created on this right side. So width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, background color green. This is exactly what we wrote here. Sometimes you don't you want to know what's happening with your element. In this case, we have only one box. We wrote the style. We know exactly what it's doing. But sometimes you are debugging your styles. There might be some other styles that your teammates wrote, so you don't know what's happening, like something that your layout is not working as you expected. So in that case, what you can do is you can go to your element, hover it, and click on it, and you will see here all the styles that are related to this element. And also it will show you exactly where this element is in your document. Okay, now what we're going to talk about is that every element, you can imagine it as a box. Imagine yourself that there is an Amazon box that was shipped to your apartment, to your house, and you open it, and that box will have a content, yeah, this little box. It has a padding, yeah, you can see that there is some stuff in it, like some space between this little box, the content, yeah. Let me write here. Let's a little bit go back. See, this is content of your box. Here, there is some kind of white stuff, yeah? Let's call it a padding. This is actually also in shipping, it's called also padding. And there is this, you see outside? This is a border, right? This is a border. And outside this border, if there is other space, like outside this box, whatever is outside is called margin. So every element in your website, divs, paragraphs, spans, articles, images, all of them you can see as a box, yeah? So it has a content, it has a padding, it has a border, it will have a margin. You can control all these properties. Let me remove this for now. So using this information, so now we can look at our box. Where is its content? What is the content?
On the top left.
Exactly, it's box 1, yeah? Box 1 is the content. Does it have any border?
Yeah, it's do, but it's invisible. Yep.
Exactly. Let's create a border here. Border 1 pixel, solid red. Now it has a border, yeah? Let's make it 3 pixels so that it's more visible. So now it has a border. Does it have a padding? This content and the border does have any padding? Is there any space between?
It's
No,
green.
it is still content. The green is actually the content. If you hover it, this you can see that there is no padding because you see with how box is all the way close to the border. So it's like touching it, right? Almost touching it. I can actually add a padding. You can add a padding by writing padding here. That's a property. And you can say, for example, 5 pixels. So now you can see that this box is more inside. Yeah, there is a space between the red border and the box content. So if I put it here, 15 pixels, it's gonna be more visible. Let's just put it like this. Okay, so now you can see it here. So now, when you hover this element, you can see all the way down here. It's a box model. So we have a content that's 100 by 100. We have a padding 15 pixels that we just added here. You can see that it's actually all around. So it's on the top, on the left, down, and on the right, down, and left. And it has a border. We also added it. You can see that it's 3 pixels. It has no margin. We can actually add margin as well. Let's add the margin. Margin. How much margin would you like to add?
Same as padding.
Same as
15.
that. 15. Okay, let's add it 15. So now you can see that this element, you can see the orange, yeah. When I hover it, it highlights with the orange all around. Yeah, so it has now 15 pixels padding. If I make it even, I can make it even bigger. So let's make it 30 pixels. So now it has even bigger margin. So margin is whatever between this element and other elements. So that's the margin. It's outside the border. So if sometimes there is a very common interview question, what's the box model? So that's the interview question. Box model means that every element has a content, padding. Yeah, so content, padding, border, and margin. So that's about that is related to all the elements, no exceptions. So knowing this, you might ask me, like, why do I need to know this? Sometimes you want to place your elements close to each other, far from each other. You want to have more vertical space between the elements. For example, I can put here multiple boxes. Let's put 3 boxes. So this will be box 1, box 2, box 3. So you might think, like, where this space is coming from. And if you want to make the space bigger, how do you control it? So for example, I want to make this distance bigger and this distance bigger. Which property do I need to change? Do I need to change border, padding, or margin?
Margin.
Margin.
Exactly. I need to change margin because that's what's outside the border. So now if I can just put here 40 pixels. So that's gonna put, do you see this arrow? You can see that now the distance is even bigger than before. I want to have no space between this box and the border. Which property do I need to change?
Padding.
Padding, exactly. If I set this padding to 0, then you can see that all the boxes, like all the content, will be right where the border is. And so far you saw that we controlled everything with one value only, but you can control all this with multiple values. So you can see that there is top, right, bottom, left. Space between the border and so padding is a space between border and the content. So we have a content border, so that space here, green space is padding, right? Padding adds to the total width of the box. Yeah, so the padding will always add to the total width, so it will make the width even bigger. So okay, multiple values. So far we can see that we added only one value. You can have more fine-tuned, more precise space on each side of the box. So let's see here I can, let me make this lorem 10. Oops, 10. What I'm trying to achieve here, I want to have the padding top. For example, I can control padding top. I want to add like 8 pixels, yeah. So I can write here 8 pixels. I want to have padding right 15 pixels. I want to have padding bottom 40 pixels. And for example, left 50 pixels. So now you can see that the distance between the content and the border, so this padding is different on each side. And when you hover it, you can see it here too. So 8 on the top, on the right side 15, on the bottom 40, on the right left side is 50. And you might think like, hey, how I'm gonna remember this, like this exact order, like it does follow the order. Yes, when you're writing padding margin, it always starts with it from top and it goes clockwise. So always starts from, it's like a clock, yeah. It will start at top and then it will go clockwise to the right, bottom, and left. And when you practice it more and more times, you will remember it. And I want to add, for example,
Manir, sorry. What if I want to put only the left padding?
You can do it too, actually. For example, then you can put padding left. Oops. Padding left, and you can add 15 pixels.
Okay, thanks.
So this way you will just control left side. So if I hover it here, you can see that there is no padding on all around, and left padding is 15 pixels. Same with margin. You can add only margin to the bottom. Margin bottom. Margin bottom, for example, 50 pixels. So you can see that all my boxes a little bit pushed down at the bottom. So if I hover it, you can see that the margin is 50. Oh, sorry. Margin is 50 now. And you can do margin top, margin left, margin right. So let me put it a little bit up. So margin top is 50, margin bottom is 50. Let's say I want a margin left and right 20. 20, and right also 20. So this way I can like specify exactly what I want here. So I can say 50, 50, 20, 20. Instead of writing it on like multiple times on each line, you can use a shortcut. And shortcut for this can be, I will show you the shortcut. So we are putting 50-50 on top and bottom, right? So I'm going to just use margin. I'm going to use 2 values only. So 50 pixels, that's going to be top and right, top and bottom. And the second value will be left and right. So 20 pixels, for example. So if you're specifying margin using 2 values, the first one means top and bottom. And second one means left and right. Okay. If 2 values. If you're using 2 values, then first value means top and bottom, second one means left and right. If you're using only 1 value, let me write here, 1 value, then it will apply. Where will it apply, guys? If you're using just one value?
We have to add
Top.
All around it, right? So if you're writing margin and just giving one value, for example, if I give here just 50 pixels, where will it apply?
The top.
All
round.
All 4 sides. So it will go all around.
But the padding works only for the top.
Here, because we
Yeah.
specify here padding left.
No, if you just type the padding and the one value, and it will
Oh.
work only for the top.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. So here you can see that padding 15,
Oh, but
15,
it will.
15, 15.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So that's just the syntax, like, if you're specifying 4 values, in that case, it will apply top. Oops. Top. What's the on the other side? Okay, right. Bottom and left. Basically, it means that clockwise. Starting from
Manier.
Mhm.
Okay. So warning is, I'm gonna ask in Russian.
Мгм.
В случае, когда мы указываем два значения,
Мгм.
он выбирает либо вверх, либо вниз, либо справа, либо слева. Я не понял, в каких случаях он сам выбирает, когда будет действовать вверх, вниз и вправо, и лево.
Sorry, this should be top and right. It will apply on top and right and left and right. Sorry, top and bottom and left and right. If it's 2 values. Если это только 2 значения, первое будет действовать на верхнем и в нижнем, в нижней части, а второе значение право и лево.
Теперь понятно все.
Okay, so this is about. So one more time, let's recap it. What is a box model, guys? What does it consist of? Box model.
Have 4 things for consist: content, padding, border, margin.
Exactly. And what is a padding?
It's a space between the content itself in the box.
Content and
Yeah.
border, right? Content
Yeah,
and
right.
border. Perfect.
Inside.
And what is a margin? And this question is for Rustam.
Margin, the space between border and so outside the border.
Yeah, exactly. It's the space outside the border, right? Perfect. Perfect. Nice. So you can see here, if you forget what's the rule here, you can also like look at the slides. It has some border, what are the properties, margin, auto margin. Oh, interesting thing. Auto margin. It means that if I apply auto margin, margin auto, something interesting will happen, which is it will calculate what is the available space, what's the horizontal available space, and then it will place your box exactly in the center. So you can see that if I'm making this browser larger, it will always stay in the center because it will find, it will make sure the margin, so the space outside this box, outside this border and other like sides, that space is always even on left side and right side. So it will work horizontally. So that's
Is it like referring to the parent element or referring to the whole screen? Let's say if it's on the big div, so it will position to center of the div or center of the screen.
Good question. Let me create here a container div. Let me create here container div, and I'm going to place these 3 elements inside this container div. And I'm going to give this container div Let's put it a little bit on top here. The width of 500 pixels. I'll save here. So in that case, let's also give it background color.
Border.
Background color of yellow, and the border of 1 pixel solid black. So now you can see that it will always work in relation to the closest parent. It's not always the browser. So it was the browser because it was these divs did not have a parent that had specific widths. But if it's inside the parent that has specific widths, it will always calculate available space inside that parent. So it knows right now that there is a 500 pixels of this container, outside container, and it knows itself it will take what's the size, 100 pixels, right? And then it will auto calculate what's available space and it will put that in the center. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. If we do it like inline, will it be also same like even or?
Oh, what do you mean?
Let's say if we position display like boxes, we will change it to like inline block, like text.
Inline.
So they will appear in the center of the container, or they will be like next to each other all.
Do you mean paragraph or span?
Yeah, we can use paragraph also, yeah.
Paragraph is a block element, but let's use span. Span. And for span, there is, I think, it's also a good question, because with the spans, as I remember, you cannot margin auto. Let's give it width. So, few things here. With a span, if I hover it, you can see that the width 20 auto. Okay, let's put it 200, maybe 50 pixels. Okay. The span is inline element, right? With inline element, we cannot really control its width and we cannot really control its margin. So that's a difference between, one of the big differences between inline element and block elements. What we can do here though, we can change its display. You remember we talked about it. We can override its display properties. We can make it inline block element. When we make it inline block element, some of the options will open up for you, where you can control certain properties. For example, if I put here 200 pixels. So now you can see that now its width became 200 pixels, but margin auto, I'm not sure if I can apply margin here. Margin, let's try to apply margin top 50 pixels. So yeah, margin top did apply, but I think margin auto doesn't work here in this situation. So that's the specific differences between inline elements, inline block elements, and block elements. So you can override their, good thing is that you can override their properties by using property display. Okay, any other questions, guys?
No, don't have.
So just if you wanna like really place this span to the center, we can use just other options like text line center. Like this.
Exactly. You can just align it with a text align. If you'd like to, so you remember we were building this, where was I think it was among your homeworks, projects, practice, projects, I think. Semantic HTML. So why I didn't start it with you, because you needed to know some information about padding, margin, to be able to control these spaces between the elements, between these elements, the space between this text and the border. And but now you can practice it using all the information that you got today. Please try to add the style. So now you have a structure. I can send this code to you, to the Slack channel. Using this, you can finish up this homework. You can take it as a homework. Let me see. 24/2. So, and also I can share this code as well with you for your reference. Okay. Good. Any questions, guys?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Questions.
Manir, I'm still not able to open this code in the browser to check. You remember? I can't find it in my Mac.
Okay. Right click.
Some owner. Yeah, I don't have this button.
Okay. Can you?
You should. I'm sorry. You should have it. There is like the двойной клик, и он там снизу у вас должен появиться. I can share my screen if you want to.
Yes. Yeah. You can.
Also, Victor, you can try Option Command I. Altogether, Option Command I.
Yeah, it's an option too, actually.
Yeah. Actually, your
Just shortcut.
instructor Jildis, she's here. Hi, Jildis.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah.
Hi. You joined to help with any questions, right? Like
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can leave me as a host.
Okay, yeah. So Jildis will stay with you, and if you have any questions, help with homework or setting up, any other questions, you can ask Jildis. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yep,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Manir.
Hi devs, one more time. Yeah, I'm also joined to let you know that we should cancel this extra hour for today because Mario doesn't feel himself well, and you will have class, I think, with Mario next week from Monday, extra hour classes, and on Friday you will have extra hour but with a different instructor. And if you have any other questions, please let me know.
No questions. Then we can leave for now, right?
Yeah, if you don't have questions, yeah, please, you can leave.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good
I
day.
do
Bye.
have one with my homework. Can I share my screen? Give me a
Yeah,
sec.
please go ahead.
Share. Okay.
Hello guys, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. Hello, Jildis. Quick question.
Hi.
I cannot absolutely find that command command for their when we are creating something, some div or something else, and when we are giving the heights, there was
Mhm.
some commands to fit all elements inside of the div. So so that height of the div depends on how many elements
Ah,
or yeah. It was something simple, but I don't remember absolutely.
maybe do you mean this positioning absolute relative? I think you will learn it a little bit later. No, not
No,
that
it
one.
was different. Yeah. It was something really simple that, for example, if you create some height, some div, and you're giving some
Mhm.
height, you are just like writing something, and it was like the height will be grow with
Mm.
elements inside of that, something like that.
Maybe
I forgot.
maybe kind of related to the class name. So you're applying for div, giving to the class name of the div, and everything inside that div became related to the size of main div. Do you mean that maybe?
Yeah, some kind of.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe after Nursultan you can share screen and we can try.
Oh, never mind. Thank you. I'm sure I will find it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, I'm done this homework. Like I was doing it, and I'm pretty close done it. So here you can see it's almost done, but when I paste it here, it looks like that. So I don't know what happened.
Okay. Did you add here CSS? Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Let's take a look to this to the buttons, font size, border,
I
width.
used display flex to align them
Okay,
in.
you are sharing now VS Code, right? And in VS Code you have width 100%, and because of it, it's take whole your
Space.
this and whole display. Could you please show me in CodePen how it looks like in CodePen?
Oh, where is it? Like that. Like I just copy.
It's you left everything the same, right?
Yes, I just copied
Down
and
button, but
then paste it here. Nothing has changed.
You can try to paste only what is inside the body. We don't need like head, HTML tags. Maybe that.
What?
yeah, in
Yeah.
CodePen they have already their let's say compiler, and you don't need this a code before the body. So this method tags, all of them kind of applied in the CodePen.
Yeah,
You can
delete
try to delete it.
Which one? What are you talking about?
from line 10 till up. You can delete like on HTML. We don't
Yeah.
need body. Up, yeah, from there. Yeah.
What?
No. Up.
No, not
From
10,
first
7.
line till 10.
7
From
to
line
the
7,
line
yes.
1.
Not 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. In 10
Nothing
there
has
was a break
changed.
line. Yeah.
It's the same. Like.
Can I
Yeah.
try to help if I just have an idea?
Yeah,
So,
please go ahead.
Нурсултан, в общем, как ты видишь, здесь экран он намного уже. По вертикали видишь, у тебя высота кнопок указана процентами. Попробуй заменить их на пиксели, потому что в обычном браузере они у тебя выше намного. Поэтому они по пропорциям реально уже. Измени процент высоты кнопок на пиксели просто и попробуй.
Не, но я не хочу на пикселе. Пиксель оно не займет все space.
В этом случае у тебя он всегда будет уже, потому что экран по высоте реально уже получается
Он
здесь.
берет там соотношение полного экрана. То есть вот это.
Он у тебя всегда так будет тогда, если по процентам будешь, потому что он от экрана отталкивается.
Нет, да. Так, получается
Well,
в CodePen. Это вот это в CodePen
допустим,
проблема.
Или измени
не, вот
побольше процентов, попробуй
Не,
написать.
побольше процент сделаю, то у меня вот тут он увеличивается. Если я сделаю это. Зачем мне это?
Можешь там
Алло.
этот CSS height там 300 пикселей.
Смотри, вот 60 это down buttons, это нижняя кнопка.
Мгм.
И up buttons это вот эти верхние кнопки.
Да, вот
40%. 60 плюс 40, 100. What the
Ну,
hell?
знаешь, я не знаю, просто в моем случае, когда я делал, я не делил в два разных дива, типа верхние и нижние баттоны. Я сделал в один див, и для последнего просто ID добавил. В этом случае у меня все было как надо. Я просто исключил один, последний, с помощью ID. Можно крутить им это, мне там все нормально выходило.
А как она алайнится вот так? Сюда. Четвертый баттон. Если ты в один запустишь, то у тебя они просто вот так в row будут.
Не, ну я один div сделал, все кнопки туда запихнул, и последним дал ID, и введя ID в CSS, дал ему больше вейс на 100%, и дал отдельные классы. Ну,
И он переместился вниз?
Да.
Real?
Да, так и было.
I don't think
Да,
it works.
it works, but we can try also. He differentiated it by ID, because of it it works. Yeah, and let's try.
Где? Where was that?
Они были снизу, потому что они же inline, то есть они свободные места занимают. А когда все заняты, он просто выходит на нижнюю строчку. То есть
Ну когда у тебя будет, ну ты
Я
если
просто
тогда
выставил-
сделаешь, знаешь, если вот так тогда, ну типа,
Он таки будет. То есть у верхних трех они 33%, то есть занимают втроем весь экран, сколько бы ни было. А нижний, так как ему не хватило, он вниз спускается, и он сам по себе
нет,
имеет...
а у тебя если он вот так вот увеличишь, ты,
Да.
получается.
Они же по процентам постоянно, можно сказать, привязаны к экрану, меняются.
Покажи код, покажи.
Блин, сейчас, если я сохранил, сейчас быстро посмотрю.
Stop sharing.
Так, где это? Сейчас. У меня тоже есть в CodePad. Сейчас быстренько открою. Так, нашел. Как мне... Теперь я могу тогда дублировать свой экран? Или что? Что
Да,
показать?
да,
share,
да,
share, share.
пожалуйста.
Сейчас я открою, я никогда не делал. Сейчас, секунду. Блин,
Entire screen выбери. Не все вкладки.
Сейчас. Я минуту. Все. Share screen. Desktop One, да, или как там? Я нажал Share просто. Окей.
Да, screen.
Что за
Я не
разрешение?
знаю на маке как.
У меня разрешение просит, просто сейчас быстро все сделаю, попробую.
Да.
Что там? Вышло что-нибудь?
No,
Not yet. Take your time, Victor,
Так,
without any
Share
rush.
screen. Вариант есть. Code. Share again. Сейчас что?
Да, все окей.
I have a
That's all
quick
fine.
question about
Я
that.
We can see you.
Safari. Так, весь
Um,
понял.
Janar, it was you?
Yes, it's
Guys,
me.
could you please give us 1 second? Yeah,
У
go
меня
ahead,
очень
Janar.
короткий код, как видишь. Видишь, тут просто баттоны взял в одном диве, все 4. А четвертым я дал ID отдельный. Так, здесь все понятно, да? И вот всем кнопкам дал 33, по идее, высоту, size, цвет бордера. И лишь последнему с помощью ID указал отдельный вид 100. Потому что и все, ничего лишнего, без заморочек. И сайзы. Я просто, короче, ID меня выручил, и все. А margin top, это чтобы он там слипся в образце, я просто чтобы не слипался, сделал. Очень короткий, но вроде нормально было. Попробуем.
Okay, thank you a lot, Victor.
Окей, я останавливаю.
Nursultan, do you have more questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Janara, please go ahead.
I have the question about the orientation class. That is on the schedule for February 4th. What is it about?
Oh, okay. It was orientational class in the last Friday. It's only recording from last Friday. But this Saturday you will have extra class with Asilia at 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. PST, so 3 hours class.
That is on Saturday, right?
Yeah, that is on Saturday.
But there is another class, orientation class.
It's
on
video
Sunday.
links to the orientation class. Yeah, I think they put it from previous week.
Oh, I
So
see.
on Sunday you don't have any class.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. More questions, guys. If you have any, if you're stuck on your homework or if you have any other questions, please let me know.
No yet, actually, don't have questions.
Okay, thank you a lot, Victor, for sharing your screen and helping to your groupmate.
It's no problem. Okay. I guess everybody gonna leave this Zoom
Okay, yeah.
one by one.
Okay, guys,
Thank you,
then see
guys.
you. See you tomorrow.
To this, I have a
Yeah, go ahead.
simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I share it?
Yeah, please go ahead, share.
And I want to ask about here, how I put it, this one.
You should just press enter and it will be kind of the second line in the no, just was okay. Option Z.
Option.
Yeah. Option Z, press option Z, option Z. So you
Option Z.
Oh, comma Z, I'm sorry. Command Z. If you will press quick, it will bring all your code again. So it's the way how to go back. Again. Option, wow, command and Z. Is it working? Press just several times. Press comma and Z. Yeah, cool. You bring your code again. Go to the middle of your curly braces. Yeah, and press enter. Do you mean this one? How we can do? Yeah.
Yes. Here I try to make a container, but it is not work, I think. For example, for a div, we must write a container here.
The class name, it will be inside div. Go to the, give a space and go write class, and you can write here, container.
But container, only I must write like that.
I think after T, it should be A, container.
Like that?
Yeah, like this.
Because
Well
when
done.
I click there, another options are they're going, for example, here. For example, see, when I click the C, there is content, class are going.
Mhm.
But container is
okay.
not going. I wondered it.
No, you can write any words which you want, any words related to your project, and it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. You can write anything. If you are writing project with, I don't know, with goods, you can write a container for goods or a container for apples, anything.
Thank you. And here, we can work with like HTML, EGSS in one
CSS.
page, CSS in
Yeah.
one page. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
We must share it. Okay.
Mhm.
It's simple, but some the topics I can't understand.
No worries. You should always try to rewatch videos. It always helps, you know. After the class, just open the video in the half of your laptop and rewatch it, and in the other half, do your homework. It's possible. No worries. Especially in the beginning, and you don't have any background, and it's okay. Mhm.
Okay. If there will be some questions, I will write text you.
Yeah, of course. Text me if you stuck. We can meet as we met yesterday, and I will help you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you too. Thank you a lot for the questions, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye bye. See you.